All right, guys, welcome. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm gonna be ranking fulfillment models for the coaching information and essentially the coaching space. So if you have a health offer, if you run a coaching business, I'll be ranking your fulfillment models. So this might give you some clarity on which direction you might want to take if you're planning to launch a new offer or just optimize your current offer. So that being said, let's dive into the video. I got you here, I got my mic here, trusted mic, and I'm on my monitor. So if you're new around here, my name is Cameron. I have worked with a ton of people in this holistic health healing world. Some of these faces you might be familiar with: Joshua Mason, the Detox Dude, Dr. Mark Hyman, Ava Hooft, Dr. Daniel Pompa, and Dennis Eckelbarger, all somewhat viral sensations in the holistic health healing space and detoxification space. So I've generated over 12 million in trackable revenue over the last 10 years of my career as a copywriter / fractional CMO. Here's some recent screenshots. This is some numbers we pulled in 2023 and a recent email dashboard. So that being said, I'm making these videos mainly really just to share what's worked for us, how I think about marketing and health information offers and how I think about these offers, as well as to open up conversations with people who are in the health space who want to network and who just want to share data and just share what's working in the holistic health healing world as well as the coaching space. And the goal of this video and the goal of these videos here, this new series on my channel, is really just be helping you make a bigger impact with your offer and have your next $100,000 month. So that being said, let's dive into the ranking video. I'm just gonna pop over to my next screen. All right, let's break down your fulfillment model. So the first thing that you probably are gonna think of is gonna be a course. And I'm honestly gonna put course as an A tier thing because once you build it, then that's all you really have to do. Your information, your process, your protocol is set there and people can go through it and they'll get that information. If you have a good course, a good protocol, a good process, and you put it into a course, you can kind of like have some structure for your clients to go through your process essentially, right? So that's the idea of a course. It can be anything from like a low ticket course or even a high ticket like 5K course that you put together. You know, I've even sold courses that are as high as like $10,000 just for the course material. The only reason it's not an S tier is because the thing about course and information products, and this is the problem with scaling info in general, this problem with scaling info is that once you've sold the info and people learn the info, then that's it. It's kind of done. Like what happens next, you know? So that's the only caveat to doing a course and to running your whole fulfillment model based around a singular course thing is that it's just a little, it doesn't have as long of legs, I guess you can say, with some of the other business models here. So that is a course. The other thing I usually recommend is a cohort. So like an 8-week, 6-week, 7-week cohort. I'm going to put cohort as B though. It's really good for kicking things off. If it's your first, like a new process, the reason why I love cohort model is when you're teaching something brand new that you've never taught before, it smashes. Cohort model smashes. And what you can do with a live cohort, if you're doing like a 7-week cohort where you're teaching this exact outcome that you've never taught before, you can record those and basically turn into a course as well, or re-record them, turn it into a course, and then resell it as like a weekly cohort thing. But the thing is, cohort does have fatigue. So after a while, it's like, you can only run them kind of once or twice or 3 times after people in your audience start to like fatigue. And it's still kind of like the same thing as selling people into an evergreen type of course. So that's the only issue. I've done, we've scaled to millions per year, I guess, hundreds of $1,000s per month with cohort models specifically, similar in a mastermind, framed as like a mastermind. But yeah, we've done really well with cohorts. I love them, but not necessarily super S tier or B tier in that sense. I don't know why I have Slack and School here. I think these are the same thing I was thinking about. But anyways, what I'm talking about or what I was thinking about is community. Community, Oof, I might put it in D tier, honestly, if you're doing a free community or a paid one. The issue that you come up with, I'm going to just keep it as C. The issue that you have with like a school community is you're going to deal with churn, especially if you're pricing it as like $7 a month, $100 a month. You're still going to get people that literally just forget and just have it there. But that's kind of the only issue with like membership or monthly community. Let's call it like that, like memberships, right? Actually, let's call school memberships. That's what I was thinking, C tier for that. Yeah, the issue they come up with a paid membership is churn. And then the thing about a community is like, it's kind of just there and there's not a lot of value that you're creating with the community other than like the presence that you're bringing there, the weekly calls, if they're getting access to that. I would much rather sell a high ticket program. And we're going to get into the coaching models in a second. I would much rather sell a high ticket program and you'd make way more and actually people get a better experience than sell a low ticket community, in my opinion. I think it's a C tier, honestly. So let's go into group coaching. Group coaching, maybe S tier, maybe S or A. I think a group coaching I'm going to put as A for now. We might bump it up, but you know what? Before we'll get back to group coaching in a second for some reasons why I want to talk about one-on-one being S tier. Group coaching is going to be A tier. One-on-one has to for sure be S tier. For like thousands of years, we've always had mentors and not thousands, but since like the Middle Ages, I guess you could say, we've had mentors and there's been trades. And this is kind of a very classical business model. You want to learn from someone who's done already the thing that you've desired or that your client desires. You want someone to really hold your hand through the process. One-on-one is absolutely S tier, goated. It's the best business model in my opinion. The only problem with one-on-one, of course, is it's not scalable in that sense. You can charge super high ticket. I know clients of mine charge their one-on-one services for 30, 40, 50 grand for one-on-one packages. And yeah, it's really worth it when you can do a one-on-one. It just feels good too, like someone's paying you for your expertise, So I would put one-on-one as S tier and then group coaching as A tier, for the same reason as one-on-one. It's also not super scalable, but it is one of the best business models out there. So for us, what I've seen just convert really well in terms of revenue for time, it's going to be course plus group coaching plus upsell to one-on-one as the highest tier package. You probably already have that model going if you don't already. Let's talk about some of the more obscure ones. Supplements. Supplements are honestly S tier if you can do it right. The only problem with supplements is the simple fact that you have to really know how to create a supplement. Like you have to, like, there's all the e-com branding around it. There's like, you can do a whole VSL around it. You can have some type of really elaborate sales process with your with your supplement. But it's got to be a good ass product. It has to be something that people actually love. And you have to basically be an engineer, a scientist, or be some type of inventor for like that inventor mind to come up with a good supplement, in my honest opinion, because I would never sell, like in my 10 years of writing copy, I've never written copy for a supplement in all honesty, just simply because most of the people who are hiring copywriters in that sense, like, I could reach out to Quicksilver Sciences or whatever their brand name is. I think it's Quicksilver Science, but I could reach out to them and write copy for them, but because I actually believe in their products. But the thing about most like supplements and copywriters in the space is they're selling like scam products. So they're S tier because they're infinitely scalable and they don't require like a lot of like, your time in that sense. If you own a supplement brand, you can definitely scale that. So it's definitely worth looking into in your career down the line. It's more of a long-term play for sure. If you are, in that space, I know friends of mine who have products. I'm going to also call it like supplements / products. But I don't know if it is, if it's a short-term win thing, definitely not, because it's going to take some time to kick that up. Slack group. I think I was talking about community, same reason for the membership group. Literally C tier. Mastermind, I'm gonna go B tier actually. The only reason it's kind of similar to like group coaching in that sense, but it's more of a collaborative effort in that regard. In fact, let me just make sure this camera's recording. All right, we hella good. So yeah, mastermind. The thing about a mastermind is, you know, there's probably some live event element to it. I'd want to look at like the fulfillment model with it. I think honestly, masterminds are great. I've been a part of many masterminds in my lifetime. I think it's an amazing kind of business model. It's just so similar to like a group coaching type of thing if you think about it, you know. Only thing is you're selling it as like a 1-year experience, and you meet up every so often in person. Or you have like a one-on-one inner circle. I think it could even be A tier, honestly. We may just leave it as A tier. You can charge higher than like the group coaching thing. You could charge 10, 15, 20K for a mastermind. And the whole appeal of a mastermind is the people who are joining it. So again, if you're going to do a successful mastermind, you should do it around who's in the mastermind. So yeah, that's kind of the idea. I think it's A tier. It could even be between B or A. Next is a live event. Honestly, live events, I'm going to put it as C tier just because of how much actually goes into making a badass live event. There's like a lot that goes into it. I'm saying C tier. It could even be a little bit higher, B. If not, you know, when you do it right, it could even be S, right? But let's keep it at C for the reason of simply how much, you know, kind of goes into a really good mastermind. You can do it quite easily as well. If you have the demand for it, it could be much higher on the list. And if you like that in-person experience, which I would recommend that you actually have some type of in-person element to your offers, it can actually be much, much higher. I know tons of people love masterminds as well. So yeah, definitely, you know what? Let's make it higher. Let's make it B tier for now. Definitely not C tier, for sure going to be a B tier thing. Done for you, like hand holding, done for you, doing the work for you, buying the supplements for you, that kind of thing. That is probably gonna be A tier in all honesty. Potentially even higher. The only thing is like it does require a lot of your time. That's kind of what I'm looking at as well. It requires a lot of your time to do to handhold people through your whole process. And it's just like your highest tier package. It's similar to the fact of like one-on-one. You know, you can charge super high prices for done for you, but not everyone's going to want that level of support, and it does require a lot of your time. So it's probably better to focus on other things. We may even drop it down to B tier. And then an app, honestly, I'm gonna put it as D tier. I don't know why we have this extra thing here. Whatever, we can delete that. But yeah, app, I'm gonna literally put it as a D tier thing, simply because yeah, it's just like, who's gonna download an app, honestly? I mean, no, like, you know, you can do, I know people who are crushing with apps as well, but I just don't feel it's the most like biggest reward for your time and energy, in my opinion, with all of these other potential offers you can launch. I'm just gonna keep it at that as a D tier thing. It can definitely work. It can actually be a long-term S tier play for you if you do it as a long-term thing. For now, it's like for the short term, like for getting to 100K per month with your business, I'm gonna put it as a D tier for more of like a now immediate, you know, an immediate business model. It's more of a long-term play. If you have a good idea for an app, you know, the next Uber for health, essentially, whatever that could look like. It's a good long-term play. You could definitely get into the world of finance and selling it and doing all that kind of stuff if you have a really brilliant idea. In the same reason why supplements are S tier, app can actually be S tier, but for now it's going to be between D and S. Essentially, if it's a right now thing, it's a D. Same reason supplements could be a D, but it can also be an S, you know? So that's how I look at it. Hopefully this was of value for you. These are all the fulfillment models I can think of in the moment. There's also like certifications, you know, doing a certification program, telehealth clinic, if you're going to do that. There's the other stuff, but I didn't feel putting them in this video would make much sense when we're just going to talk about the coaching models in that regard. So that's it for this video. That's going to wrap this one up. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys like this.